Did you have any bad experience in Poland?
There was once I was in the metro in Warsaw, and there was this really old guy, probably in his 70s, and I think he was drunk. And I was standing in front of the door, and he pushed me on the side. I think he pushed me on purpose. I was there, but there was enough space for him to go. So he pushed me, and he said something mean or something racist in Polish. But the cool thing about the situation was, right next to us, there was a Polish man with his daughter, and he started yelling back at the old man in Polish, and he told him to just fuck off and get lost. And he just got off at the next station. The old man got off.
Right.
And then this guy said sorry to me. And I said, no, man, it's totally fine. There's idiots in every part of the world.
Right.
And this was beautiful because I experienced maybe sort of racism, kind of. I didn't get offended because I have to understand what it was.
Right.
But at the same time, it was like immediately somebody else from Poland defended me. So that's kind
cool.
it was a beautiful moment because it was like just kind of explains what modern Poland is all about right now.
Nice to have you here, Adi.
Hey, I'm so happy I'm here, man. Thanks for having me, buddy. My pleasure. It's my pleasure. Yeah.
It's my pleasure, man. It's a first podcast doing in English.
That's cool. I'm glad.
Hopefully it's gonna be
I'm the
cool.
first at something at least.
Oh yeah.
But that happens a lot in Poland.
What's your name exactly?
My actual name, of course, real name, proper name is Aditya.
Aditya?
Aditya. It basically means the sun in Sanskrit.
No.
Yeah, so the sun has many names. All the men in my father's side of the family are named after the sun, but they're all different names.
Right.
It's kind of a tradition, yeah.
So, and your last name?
Aditya. My last name is Akolkar, Akolkar. It's kind of a typical surname from Bombay or the area of Bombay. People will recognize if you're from India that I'm from there.
Right.
You can just call me Adi.
Adi, that's simple.
Like Adidas. I say that all the time.
Yeah. So, you live in Krakow?
I live in Krakow. Yeah.
For how long now?
It's been 2.5 years. Almost.
2.5.
Almost 2.5 years. I lived in Warsaw for 2 months before that.
How do you like Krakow?
It's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
It's a great city. It's different from Warsaw. I'm not going to say it's better than Warsaw. It's just different.
It is.
Kind of. I don't want to say it on camera. I'll get beaten up.
Not in Krakow.
Yeah, not in Krakow. It's Krakow's way better. No doubt about that.
Yeah, I used to live in Warsaw, and I came back here. Yeah, I like it. But how do you like Poland as a culture and everything?
It's interesting, man. It's interesting because I didn't know much about Poland before I came to Poland.
Yeah.
And I didn't do a lot of research on purpose. I just knew it would be a very nice, exotic place to be. But I didn't want to do any research because I wanted to make my own opinions.
Right.
But how I landed up in Poland itself is it's I didn't plan it. I didn't choose Poland.
Right.
So I tell people it's cheesy. I say that I didn't choose Poland. Poland chose me. But it's very true.
So how did you get a job here?
No, I didn't get a job first. First I landed up because I was doing an internship. So if you want, I can tell you the story of how it actually happened.
Yeah, bring it on.
So I was 29 years old back in Bombay. I've lived there all my life. And I wanted to just travel a little bit. So I had quit my job in my old office. And I wanted to go traveling to Europe or any part of the world. Just to go out and get some experience of working outside the country. And I applied to 50 places, 50 countries actually, all over the world. South America, North Africa, Asia, all of Europe, from Liechtenstein to Lithuania. I applied to everything. I didn't care where I was going to land up. It was for teaching English for 2 months. I'm not a teacher, but just an exchange program.
Right.
I waited for 3 months, and the first place to reply was ENG Warszawa.
No.
And they sent me an email. We had a Skype interview. They liked me. They selected me. They said, come over and teach English in Warsaw.
Right.
I said, cool. So looks like I'm going to Poland. So I didn't think too much. Just asked a friend of mine. He had been to Poland before. And he said, it's a beautiful country. The people are really nice. Just go. Don't think too much.
Cool.
And I just landed up here.
But are you still teaching English?
No, I'm not. No, I used to. So I lived in I did this ISEC internship for 2 months.
Right.
We were teaching English to, I'm not a teacher, it was more like conversation and getting people to get comfortable with speaking English.
Lecturer or something like that?
Yeah, just talking to them, just a
Alright.
conversation. I talk a lot, as you noticed. So it was easy for me to just talk to these kids. They were like teenagers, early 20s, college kids.
Right.
And we lived in a house with a Spanish guy, an Italian girl, an Algerian girl, and a Russian girl. It was lovely. We lived together. We cooked together. 2 of the best months of my life, actually, so
cool.
far. And that was ending after 2 months. And I was supposed to go back to Bombay. But one weekend I came to Krakow. And one of my friends from India gave me a few phone numbers of a few people I should meet who live in Krakow.
Yeah.
And I basically just ended up meeting one of them for a beer when I was here for the weekend. And we were chatting, and it turned out that we were working on the same film. I was working on a film back in Bombay. I was working in an advertising agency, and he was doing post-production for that film.
Cool.
And I realized that, we have the common friends and stuff like that.
Right.
Basically, a few days later, he called me and he said, listen, I'm looking for a producer in my company in Krakow. Maybe you might be the right guy. Do you want to give it a shot? I said, fuck yeah, why not? Let's give it a shot.
Cool.
And that's it. I got the job and I've been here for 2 years now.
So this is a Polish company?
It's a Polish company. That's right.
But so you make movies, like commercial movies?
Advertising films,
Advertising,
TV commercials.
Right.
90% of the times we work on TV commercials.
Right.
We also work on feature films. We worked on famously Anjay Vaida's last film, Povidoki. We did the post-production for that.
Oh, cool.
And we also worked on Loving Vincent, if you've heard of that. It's the first painted film.
Oh, yeah, I heard about it. Yeah, I heard about it.
It was nominated for an Oscar.
Oh,
for
cool.
special effects.
And your studio worked on
our
it?
studio worked on it. Initially, we had to do some visual effects before they actually painted the film or made it. So we had worked on that.
Yeah, it's pretty
So
cool.
it was nominated for an Oscar, but didn't win. But still a pretty big honor.
Right. So are your clients from around here, or are they from your part of the world?
Majority of our clients, 90% of them are international clients.
Right.
From Asia, Southeast Asia, India and Middle East. And I think almost 60 to 70% of the work is from India because it's a huge market.
Right.
Yeah, we also have one of our partners in the company is also Indian. And that's why we have a lot of Indian work and clients. And it's been like this for 8 years now.
Right.
So we've been working since the beginning because there are really good artists in Poland. The quality of work is really good. My boss is a creative genius. He's fantastic at visual effects. And some of the things that he does, he's one of the best at in the world. Like fluid simulations, photorealistic fluids.
Oh, really
and
cool.
people want to come to Poland and other countries in Europe and Western countries from Asia because we have better quality of artists. And they're willing to pay more for that. It doesn't matter.
Right.
So they outsource this. And it doesn't matter where you do post-production. It could be any part of the world.
Of course.
Just send the files.
Right.
And as you must have seen the show reel I sent you for the company, a lot of work is from India.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're doing a huge project now in Saudi Arabia, which is Qiddiya. They're working on that as well, which is going to be a huge entertainment city. They're building in the middle of the desert.
Oh, right. Oh, I heard about it.
Yeah. So we're working on the whole installation and building the place and all the content for it.
Cool.
That's a big one. And we have a partner in Singapore, and we do a lot of Southeast Asian films as well.
Cool.
So, man, yeah, it's advertising. Just selling toothpaste and cars.
Right. But so we talked previously about it, and India and we conclude that India and Poland is very similar in some ways, right?
Surprisingly, I didn't expect it, but it is. I think so. After living here for 2.5 years, I feel Poland is my second home. It's my second country. I feel like it's my adopted homeland. I feel like the other day my friend asked me, so when are you going home? I said, I am at home in Krakow.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing that came to my mind, because it's just a beautiful place to be. The people are amazing. And you have to have an open mind as a foreigner, because as a country, Poland is not used to having too many foreigners. I think it's only been maybe 5 or 10 years ago that it really opened up to the world. So it's rare to have a lot of foreigners. It's not like London or New York,
of course.
People from all over the world on the streets. So it takes a bit getting used to, But when you understand the culture and you meet people and you understand how the society has been and why Poland is the way it is today, it makes a lot of sense. And it's probably the most religious country in Europe. That's what most people claim, probably. And India is also very religious.
Right.
But it's not, and obviously different religion. I was born in a Hindu family. I'm not very religious at all. But religion along with it brings along a lot of conservative mindsets.
Right.
Which is pretty much what is common, I think, fundamentally between India and Poland. We are very conservative as a society. And so is Poland.
Right.
Even you might think that it's Western Europe and a Western country.
Right.
But still the values, the traditional values are the same.
Right. So you think you feel you would feel better here than, for example, like Germany or England or France?
Not really. I don't think so, because I'm not subscribing to those values. I'm an atheist. I'm not religious whatsoever. And I'm not following those traditional conservative values of the Indian culture. Of course, I respect it and my family and my parents and everybody. But if my mother tells me, okay, you need to get married when you're 30 and finds me a girl, I'm not going to listen to that. I'll do what I want to. So I consider myself to be a very global citizen.
Right.
Which is kind of common for people from Bombay, because Bombay is a very global city. There's people from all over the world there, and you're exposed to a much wider view of thoughts and perspectives.
Right.
And it opens your mind and makes you a very open person.
Right. So, is it still the arranged marriages? It's still a thing in India?
Man, it is, of course.
Even for you?
Even for me, as in, of course, my mom's going to try. Because there's people from the family are going to say, oh yeah, we got this girl who's my uncle's daughter's friend's daughter or some crap like that. And my mom actually sent me a picture of a girl who lives and works in Germany. And I'm like, no, it's not happening. Come on, that's a different country. Firstly, she might be good, but it's not going to work. It's long distance. What am I going to do? On the weekends, go to Germany and come back to... It's not going to happen. But I would like to find my own wife.
Right.
And my mom has given up. She's like, okay, do whatever you want. As long as... I have a joke about arranged marriages in India, right? Since I talk about arranged marriage websites, you have actual websites for arranged marriages in India. For a different caste, different community, different region, religion, you can sign up and make a profile. So it's basically exactly like Tinder. Right. But you swipe with your parents. Your parents are looking at the bio data and the pictures of the girl. You're sitting together and looking at it. It's crazy, man. But it's true. Some of my friends have found their wives on these websites.
Yeah, with their parents involved. Yeah. But so
as long as it works.
Right. So you said, we talked about this already, but you said there are still castes in India, and all those marriages are arranged like horizontally across the caste, right?
More or less. So the caste system is quite... I didn't know that people were so intrigued by it, because this is one of the questions I get asked very often. Yeah. This part of the world. We don't have it in Poland in terms anywhere, like... I don't know. Maybe it's because we had like communism, you know, and everything was kind of equal, yeah. Yeah, and everyone was like, you know, equalized. So there's no like aristocrats, like merchants and workers. Like everyone, at least in principle, was have to be equal. So we don't have caste like this exactly, and there's a lot of marriages between like educated people. Maybe not a lot, but there are marriages between very well-educated people and not very well-educated people, and there is not like no one cares really. No one really gives a shit, do they? Yeah. Which is great. That's how it should be, man. Yeah. Communism is the answer. No, it's not. So. But what about caste? Can you tell? Yeah, I can tell you about the caste system. I'm trying to think of where to begin, man. Fuck, it's a. This is great, by the way. Thanks. The caste system, firstly, you have to remember that it's based on a religion. Right. It exists only in Hinduism. Right. Which is the most common religion in India, majority religion, as you want to call it. But we don't have a state religion in India. We are a secular country. We believe that all religions are equal.
Right.
We've got Hinduism, we've got Islam, we've got Christianity, we've got Buddhism, we've got Jainism, we've got Sikhism, we've got Baha'i, we've got Zoroastrianism, religions that people have not even heard of before. But but in India, we grew up with all of them simultaneously.
So there is no tension between religions?
There always is. Because when they're different people, it's like what it was with the Christians and the Jews when they used to live in Poland together.
Right.
Hindus and the Muslims have historically not gotten along very well. There have been tensions in the past, but you don't really get to see them in a city like Bombay. It may be small towns and villages, possibly.
Right.
But then aren't really any tensions. It's just people live their own lives separately.
Right.
Separate parts of town, people, it's kind of segregated in that way. It's common. But in Bombay, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What your religion is, what your caste is. In general, I'll explain the caste system, but I'll just tell you there isn't one specific dividing factor in India. It's diverse to the degree that there's caste, there's class, there's region, there's religion, there's creed, there's language even. So many different things are dividing people.
Right.
Because I keep telling everybody I meet who has never been to India, it's not a country.
It's a continent.
It's a continent.
Right.
It's completely a continent. It's huge. It's 28 states. Each state is a completely different country.
And each state is bigger than Poland, right?
No, not all of them. Not each state. Like probably Maharashtra, which is where I'm from. And that's one of the largest states. And the capital of Maharashtra is Bombay. Or Mumbai, you call it now.
Right.
That is almost as big as Poland.
Right.
There's this website, you have to check it out. It's called The True Size Of. Because actual mercantile projection of the map is actually not right in terms of sizes. It gives you a general layout of the world, but each country, like Greenland is bigger than Africa, which is not true.
Right.
So you drag a country on top of another country to see the difference in the size. So check it out. So when you drag Poland over India, it's kind of just about the size of Maharashtra.
Okay, I get it.
Basically. So the caste system is an ancient system in Hinduism. Everyone's quite intrigued about it, and what
for us it is very intriguing because it's like we had castes like hundreds, maybe I don't know. Feudalism, yeah. We have like noble people and like merchants and like simple workers. And how many castes there is in India? Four castes.
The four main castes. The thing is, I mean, this might be controversial because there are different opinions about how the caste system originated, but this is what my father told me, and I would like to believe that. Firstly, Hinduism is religion where nobody knows the origin of it.
Oh.
It's probably the most ancient religion that exists today in the world.
Didn't know that.
Every major religion has a prophet, right? Has like a person like Moses or
Muhammad or Jesus,
right? For example. Hinduism doesn't have a prophet. We don't know when it began. We actually have no idea. Everything has been passed down by family, by generation to generation, as word of mouth and actually narrated stories. And then the Vedas were written. The Vedas are the holy books, holy scriptures of Hinduism. They were ancient, more than 1,000 years ago. They were written. And then we follow them. But we don't have a central figure. We have 33 million gods.
33 million gods?
Yes. We have a god for everything. But we don't have any prophets and stuff like that.
Cool.
So this caste system began as based on society, based on your profession in the society.
Right.
It was purely supposed to be based on profession. It wasn't about someone's better than the other. Right. It's just about what your job is, yeah? Your job is a carpenter, so you get a certain caste. You're a priest, so you get a certain caste. You're a warrior, or you fight a fighting clan, or you're a king, so you get a certain caste.
Right.
So there are four castes. There are Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. These are the four castes or varnas, as you call it. The Brahmins are the priests, basically the guys who are in the temple, the caretakers of the temples, and also the most educated of the classes because they had access to education, and the Vedas.
Right. So this is the highest
So
class.
it became the highest caste.
Right.
Kind of. De facto.
But they, priests in Poland can't have children.
You can. In Hinduism, priests can marry.
So, and is it still a caste? Is it still people?
It is a caste. So there's Brahmins.
And even if they not anymore, religions like priests or into religion, they still are members of this caste?
Yeah, everybody is. In order to be a priest, you have to be a Brahmin, even today.
Right. But you can be a Brahmin without being a priest.
Of course.
Right.
Not all priests are Brahmins, all Brahmins are not priests.
Right, of course.
Kind of like that. Then you have Kshatriyas. They're the kings and the warriors, the ruling classes.
Right.
They were the guys who used to go into battle, who used to rule the kingdoms.
Right.
And it's kind of funny because the king is not the highest caste. It should be, technically.
Right.
But there isn't. There's always been a big kind of conflict between the upper two castes, the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas, because the kings believe they are the higher caste, but it's always been like that. But they both are considered higher caste together.
Right.
Which happens to be my caste. I was Kshatriya. And because I think my forefathers were some sort of warriors in some clan, in Maharashtra. Definitely warriors, yeah.
Right.
So then you have the third one, which is Vaishyas. Vaishyas are basically traders and businessmen. Shopkeepers, traders, businessmen.
Right.
The business class. Then you have the manual laborers, manual laborers are people who would actually do the work, yeah?
Right.
Craftsmen and things like that. They're
And
the Shudras.
farmers also.
Farmers also, but now it's kind of, I'm not quite sure because I think farmers can be any class. But yeah, mainly the people who do the actual hard work.
Right.
And they are the Shudras. But this, over the years, became the lowest caste because
Right.
it was just based on your profession, not based on anything else.
Right.
But unfortunately, the Brahmins it was like the church and the Pope. The Brahmins got so much power in the ancient times that they kind of controlled everything. They controlled the king because the king's advisors would be the Brahmins.
Right.
He would listen to them.
Right.
And you wouldn't do anything unless the priest had blessed you or the priest had said yes and had approved it. Before every war, the king would go to the temple and would get the blessings of the priest.
Right.
The priest is directly a connection between you and God.
Right.
So you can never disrespect the priest. If he
Right.
says no, don't do it, the king would call off the war, for example.
Because God said no.
Because, hey man, you don't say no to the priest. So it's kind
Right.
of like the Pope, yeah?
Right.
And then, we all know what happened. The Pope became super corrupted. The church was super corrupted in the medieval times. And it controlled everything. Then it was all about power and nothing else. That's what happened with I don't want to say that Brahmins are like that or whatever. But it's kind of the story, generally speaking.
Right.
All of this is just my opinion, obviously, and what I've learned.
Of course.
I don't know if any Indians are watching this, shouldn't get pissed off because you're a Brahmin.
Right. But it's but based on what you're saying, I think we had the same situation in Europe.
Yeah, with feudalism.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
And there was also like priests who were higher than kings.
Mm-hmm.
And the Pope was basically the emperor of whole Europe.
Pretty much.
At some point.
And the cardinals were the
But now it's not like that anymore.
No, it's not. Modern times.
But in India it's kind of still is, right?
It really depends on where you live and which society you're part of. Because if you're living, each city is different.
Right.
But the major metro cities, all the really highly developed cities, we have 6 of them. It's not really such a big factor.
Right.
Like, nobody's going to know what your caste is when you're working in an office together. No one gives a shit. Doesn't matter.
Right.
But at the same time, if you want to get married, if you're Hindu and you want to get married, your family is going to think of which caste the girl or the guy is going to be from. You will still not marry outside your caste. It wouldn't happen.
But for example, if you have children and they will get married, are you gonna be concerned about what caste they will
I wouldn't
marry?
care.
You wouldn't care.
I wouldn't.
So probably you are the maybe first generation that
most
will
of
stop.
my friends and I wouldn't care. But of course, our parents would care.
Yeah.
Because they're born in the 50s,
You're right.
60s, and for them, they grew up in the society where it was very segregated.
Right.
It is just the ancient way of things. And it's kind of a closed mindset because nowadays it's about, okay, they're different and the culture is different and it wouldn't work. But in reality, it doesn't matter because you live in a modern society. Everyone's pretty much the same.
Right.
Because most of my friends are not religious. We're not into this whole thing anyway.
Right.
And then you have inter-caste marriages. That's just in Hinduism. But then you also have inter-community marriages, which is like if you're a Hindu, you might be the same caste, but you're from a different part of the country, like Bombay or Delhi. The cultures are totally different. Same
Right.
caste, same religion. The caste is only in Hinduism, obviously. It doesn't matter. But it'll still be weird because, you're marrying somebody who's from a different community. It wouldn't work. Your parents will like, it's not going to work out. It's so different. Don't do that. Marry in the same community, same caste. And then you have inter-religious marriages. Then you have inter-class marriages. So there are like so many different factors affecting it.
Right.
You want to marry in your religion, in your caste, in your community, and also in your class.
And in your gender. No.
Now it's, we had this historic repeal of the law, which was this 19th century law by the British, which basically banned homosexuality in India. But that law was repealed by the Supreme Court.
Cool.
So now it's legal to be gay, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
They've been fighting a lot about it. It happened in 2018, man. Can you believe that?
2018, yeah.
And it was 1870s, I think. I don't know how old this law is. 1800s.
Yeah, in England,
India.
but I don't know about Poland. Was homosexuality ever forbidden in Poland? I have no idea, because I know that in England it was like forbidden in the 50s or 60s even.
Yeah. It was forbidden in a manner that the law literally.
Yeah, you can go end up in jail just for being gay.
If it's proven.
Yeah.
The whole idea was the law in India was the British Indian law, and it says basically said that sodomy was illegal. Nobody's going into anybody's house and checking if how they're having sex anyway. But it was just a matter of principle.
Right.
Why the hell is this old ancient British law governing Indian society when it's pretty obvious some of the most famous celebrities in India are gay? Everybody knows about it, but you don't talk about it.
Right.
So then it was a huge decision, very historic.
But do you have any open gay people in India?
Of course, now, yes.
Now.
Because now it's legal to be openly gay. One of my friends from college came out as gay. We kind of had an idea, but now he told his parents, and it was legal to be gay, right? You can be gay and you can talk to your friends. Earlier you could do that, but technically it was illegal. It
was a crime.
It was a crime to be gay. It's quite fucked up, but now it's great. Things are better. I have a joke about that again. My mom is like, now it doesn't matter who you marry as long as it's a girl, basically.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
So I want to ask you about what's the thing that you are most surprised in Poland?
Well, actually, Poland is the first European country I ever came to. So
everything was surprising.
Everything was surprising for me. But one thing that hit me straight up was I got off at Chopin Airport in Warsaw, and it's like coming from Bombay to Warsaw was like catching a space flight and going to another planet. It was completely different. But mainly the first thing was just the fact that it felt like nobody had any expressions on their faces.
Oh.
This was the first thing that hit me so hard. I couldn't make out. I'm like, is everybody sad? Is it what happened? Did Lewandowski die while I was on the flight? Why is everybody sad? Did something happen to Lewandowski? That was the joke I made.
I thought about it because I met you on the stand-up comedy in English, and that there was another. I guess someone else was talking also about that the Polish people don't have expression on their face.
I've been doing research on that for 2 years.
And I thought about it because I never noticed, and that's kind of true.
It's very true.
We are very formal,
when you're walking on the street,
right?
And you're just doing your own business. You mind your own business, and you're just doing
smile,
what you do. You have a neutral expression.
Neutral.
It's called the Polish face. Even there's memes about it. And as an Indian, it was weird because you go to Bombay and you're like, everyone's either yelling at you, not you, but somebody. You're yelling, you're shouting, you're laughing. It's loud. There's a lot of energy and expression on people's faces. You feel this life. And Warsaw was like Monday morning, 11 o'clock. First of all, I was like, okay, where the hell are the people? Why is it so empty? There's nobody on the streets. They're like, what? 20 people? What? And I'm like, okay, wait, I need to get used to this because Bombay is like 30 million people.
Right.
And then why is everybody so sad? And it took me time and then realized nobody is sad. People are really
They're
totally
just,
cool.
Yeah.
Just talk to them when you have a conversation. They smile at you and then they'll speak to you properly.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. It's apparently a Slavic thing.
I think it could be a result of communism.
Maybe.
I think because
Smile police.
well, maybe not literally, but maybe there's some truth in that. If you are everyone, everything was gray. Everyone was sad at that time.
I can imagine
So
that.
if you were happy, like on the street, there was something wrong with you. So we probably need to check it out and maybe, interrogate you and maybe put you in your jail. There's something wrong with you because you have to be sad because look where you live.
That's what everybody told me as well.
Yeah.
Because also lots of guys from my office and my Polish friends, they try to teach me a lot about Polish culture over the last 2 years. And one of my colleagues and friends from office sent me an article about why is the Slavic culture the way it is? Why is this Polish face the way it is? It's apparently it's a part of the culture where you don't do things unless you mean it, including smiling. You smile when you need to smile.
Right.
You smile when you really want to smile.
Right.
You don't smile or just for the heck of it, which is a very British thing or Indian thing, where you meet somebody on the street, you look at someone and you smile back. But that doesn't happen in Poland. You will smile when you're happy, when you smile when you meet a friend. You smile when you need to genuinely do it, but not as a part of manners.
Right.
That's not a Slavic thing apparently. Because I think the same is in Russia, the same is in Ukraine and Poland as well. And
it's like the English culture. Like for example, in America, it's like, hey, how are you? I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a greeting. That's not like, how are you? Oh, yesterday something happened. It's not like that. It's just. So there was another guy I know that had a joke about it. The English guy.
Marek also has a joke about it, saying, if you ask somebody in Poland, how are you doing? 4 hours later, you want to shoot yourself.
Yeah. But someone else had a joke about how are you doing in America, for example, that someone break to your house and kill your family and you call the police. Hey, how are you doing? I'm okay. So someone killed my family, but you have to say, I'm okay. I'm all right.
That's the American and British as well. And that's why we get it in India from the British culture.
So
good morning, how are you doing? How's your day?
And another thing in English culture, which is, I think it's very funny, that when your English people are very, very angry at you, the thing what they say is they are asking for your how to say it, for your forgiveness, and they say, I beg your pardon. That's the thing when someone is angry. They say, I beg your pardon.
It's like, excuse me. What did you say? Excuse me.
But they have to be like very angry to beg your pardon. What did you say?
British. That's a very British thing. I love the British culture. When I'm an Anglophile, I always say thanks to Queen Victoria, the first Empress of India. I'm speaking in English because of her.
Right.
I mean, come on, it's true. I know everybody takes a shit on England for all the things they did for India, but they also did some good things.
Right.
We can't change the past. It is what it is. It was like a free for all, man. Back then, anybody could do anything. Anybody could take any country or do whatever the hell they wanted. It was colonialism. Britain just happened to do it before anyone else.
Right.
India could have also been colonial if we wanted. We could have gone and conquered parts of the world.
Right.
Nobody was stopping us.
Right.
So that's all. I think that's just a bunch of bullshit, blaming England for that crap. Everybody
Especially
did it.
today's England and today's English people.
Exactly. It makes no sense.
Right.
I mean, of course, it's a lot of fun to joke about it. We wouldn't have America if England didn't colonize America.
Right.
What about that?
Right.
Come on. It's what it is.
So that's what I ask you. What's like Indian relations to the crown? So to the British.
To the Brits? We have good relations with England. I think India and England will never be able to not have a
Separate.
connection.
Yeah.
It's always had a connection since forever. And we're part of the Commonwealth.
Right.
So you have the Commonwealth connection with Australia and Canada.
So you are still like you are part of Commonwealth, right?
We're a part of Commonwealth, but the Commonwealth has nothing to do with England apart from the fact that they're just ex-colonies of England.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
But we're not, like, for example, Australia and Canada,
Yes, is
the
the
official monarch of Australia and Canada is still Queen Elizabeth II.
But it's only like tradition. It has nothing to do with actual lawmaking and everything.
There is. They sign it. I think when they're making a change in the constitution or they're making a new law or a bill, I think they have to sign it in the name of the Queen or something like that.
Right, yeah, but that's only like tradition.
It's a bureaucratic stuff. Yeah,
Right,
it's formal stuff.
Right.
Not that anyone cares. I don't think that a lot of Australians and Canadian people know that the Queen of England is still their queen.
Right.
She
Well,
is.
yeah, they probably do, but they don't care. There's
They
not
probably
there's not
don't
many
care,
difference
yeah.
between Canada and America, for example.
Exactly,
in
very
many
similar.
places, right?
And New Zealand also, I forgot. Yeah, of course.
Right.
Everybody forgets New Zealand.
So, where's Mumbai exactly in India?
Mumbai is on the western coast of the Arabian Sea. It's the capital of Maharashtra. Maharashtra is one of the largest states in India. So like you have voivodstva
You're right.
in Poland, we have states.
Right.
We have 28 of them. They come in all different shapes and sizes.
Right.
Maharashtra is one of the most developed and also one of the largest. Then Mumbai is the largest city. Mumbai is called the economic capital of India. The actual capital of India is New Delhi.
Right.
But Mumbai is the economic capital. Also the entertainment capital because Bollywood is from Mumbai.
Right.
So all the stars live there. The whole film industry is from there.
Right. And Bollywood is bigger than Hollywood, obviously.
In terms of size, yes. In terms of the number of movies we make, Bollywood makes the most number of movies in the world every
Right.
year.
And also like top 10 richest actors, like 7 of them are from India.
Yeah, possible.
Like 3 of them are from USA, like
Yeah.
we know, but 7 of them is
Lots
like
of
from
money,
India.
man. There's
yeah.
a lot of money. You got 1.3 billion people who are crazy about Bollywood. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of imagine that many tickets being
Yeah,
sold.
and I heard like average Indian goes like twice a week to the theater
Yeah.
or something like that.
At least once a week on an average, because that's an escape that's been traditionally
Right.
one of the best forms of entertainment. Once people are busy nowadays, but at least twice or thrice a month.
Right.
People
And
go
I
for
go to the theaters like once every 3 months maybe when there's like a really big
Yeah,
title
yeah.
I want to watch, but not so often. But I think the Hollywood is not second but third. The Nigerian Nollywood
Really?
is second. Yeah.
In the number of movies they make?
Yeah, and
Damn.
yeah. I heard about because
Really?
like Nigeria is huge country in terms of people.
In terms of
It's like,
size, yeah.
yeah, it's like third, I guess, or fourth maybe in terms of people. It's gonna
not.
be
Third is fourth is Indonesia. It's remember we had that, and it's China,
China,
US, no, China, India, US, and
US
and
US have
Indonesia.
200 million people.
US is the third or fourth?
200 million people?
No, more than that.
No,
isn't it?
the US have 200 million people.
US is one of the most populated countries in the world.
US?
Yeah, man.
USA?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
No. It's 200 million people and USA is huge.
Really?
It's not dense at all.
Indonesia
There's a lot of people on Los Angeles, San Francisco, East Coast and New York and so on, but in the middle of
Nothing.
it
It's all empty.
it's
The
empty.
Desert.
There's like 20,000 people in whole states like Dakota or something.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's empty. So USA is
Indonesia is like the fourth most populated
maybe.
country.
But the about Nigeria, the average age in Nigeria is about 18 years old.
That's good.
So it's one of the youngest country in the world. So like next 20 years, there will be more Nigerians than Chinese people now.
Wow.
Yeah. And the Nollywood, so the Nigerian.
These are the guys writing the emails, right?
Right.
They're all the
That's
princes.
them. That's them.
These 18-year-olds.
Right.
These fuckers are spamming
Right.
everybody.
That's
Okay.
them. That's
Yeah.
exactly them. So, do you learn Polish?
Oh man, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
But you,
The operative word is trying.
yeah. But you're pretty good. Like based on what you comment, we obviously speak English, but
Of course.
but every time you heard something and you understand it.
I understand more than I can speak. I can make like very basic sentences. Like, mówię tylko trochę po polsku, ale polski jest bardzo kurwa trudny. Mówisz dobrze po polsku, ale dużo rozumiem.
Okay.
Mówię. I make a lot of mistakes.
Obviously, everyone, even I make many mistakes in Polish. There's not like there's like probably 3 people that speak perfect Polish in Poland, really.
Which is great, because when I was teaching, my Polish teacher told me that Polish is such a playful language. You can like bend the rules and kind of make anything.
Right.
At the end, of put any random letters at the end of the bloody word.
Yeah, and it's always means something.
One of our friends, Tomasz Biskup, has a joke about it as well. Right. How do you make a plural out of any Polish word? You just put random letters at the end. I laugh my ass off at that. Yeah. He's like, got it so right.
Right.
And it's a difficult language, man, to learn.
It is.
I'm trying, but I listen. I'm like a parrot. I can listen and I can repeat. Exactly.
Right. You have good pronunciation as well. So
thanks, man.
That's a
Dziękuję bardzo.
Proszę bardzo. Did you have any bad experience in Poland? Like in terms of how you look on your different race?
As in like racism? You mean some racist thing?
Yeah.
You know, that's one of the questions I get asked by people as well a lot. I've been really lucky, actually. I think I've had nothing majorly to talk about. There's just been 2 experiences I've had in Warsaw. Since I've lived 2 years in Krakow, I've had nothing. It's always been great. There was once I was in the metro in Warsaw, and there was this really old guy, probably in his 70s, and I think he was drunk. And I was standing in front of the door, and he pushed me on the side. I think he pushed me on purpose. I was there, but there was enough space for him to go. So he pushed me, and he said something mean or something racist in Polish. Obviously, I was with my friend, with my Polish friend, with my Ukrainian friend, actually. She said, just ignore him. And I was just smiling back at him because I didn't understand what he said anyway. So it didn't matter to me. But the cool thing about the situation was, right next to us, there was a Polish man with his daughter. And he started yelling back at the old man in Polish. And he told him to just fuck off and get lost. And he just got off at the next station. The old man got off.
Right.
And then this guy kind of said sorry to me. And I said, no, man, it's totally fine. There's idiots in every part of the world.
Right.
And this was beautiful because I experienced maybe sort of racism, kind of. I didn't get offended because I have to understand what it was.
Right.
But at the same time, it was like immediately somebody else from Poland defended me. So that's kind cool. It was a beautiful moment because it was like just kind of explains what modern Poland is all about right now. It sums it up right there.
Right.
You have people who are going to be older, who are not used to change, who are going to be the way they are. You can't change their perspective. And at the same time, there are younger people who understand, they're open to change, and they're welcoming everybody.
It's pretty cool.
It was great. It's great. And I got out of the train in the next stop, and I waved to the guy, and he waved back. We smiled. Great.
Oh, cool.
It's a great moment.
Yeah.
I think it was also, he was with his daughter, and it was a great example to set for your child, you know, to say that this is not the way we are supposed to behave with people in public or in general. This is wrong. And his daughter would be watching, and she would have learned something that day.
Right.
It's a pretty great example to set.
Cool. Yeah, that was at the end nice experience.
It was definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
People kind of must have said a lot of stupid shit, but I keep saying it's like you can't be racist if the person you're trying to be racist with doesn't understand what you're saying. If you want to offend me, I need to understand that you're trying to offend me.
And even if you understand Polish racist slurs, that don't have impact on you, I guess, because you don't have you just learned it like a week ago.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It's like for African Americans and black people, it's kind of obvious there are some things which are very obviously racist.
Right.
That everybody knows universally. But for Indian people in Poland, they have this word. One of my colleagues told me, you call them ciapatych. And it is the funniest thing in the world. This was one of my first jokes I ever talked about. It's like, I burst out laughing when the guy said they call us ciapatych. I'm like, that chapati is an Indian bread. I'm sorry. Why would you call us bread? It makes no sense. If you tell an Indian guy who has never been to Poland on the streets in the Rynek, somebody yells at him chapati, the guy is going to think you're hungry. And he would want to buy you food. I'm like, okay, I will buy you some food, but the Indian restaurant is closed. Maybe I can buy you some kebab. The guy is just gonna be. It's not offensive.
Right.
Like, you need to do something better, for God's sake, something that we'd understand.
Right.
It just shows ignorance and stupidity, to be honest. It's funny for me. And that's about it. Once I had this guy from Praga, do you know, in Warsaw, the Kharki dudes with the dresh, bald, shaved head, in the metro. I'm just walking, I'm staring at a shop, and he's staring back at me for some reason from the other side. And he comes right next to me and he starts saying something in Polish very slowly. I'm like, I need to get away from here. And I just started walking. And that's it. I don't know what he said. Nothing happened.
Right.
But I don't know whether that was racist or he was just being an idiot.
Right. Yeah, Praga is a specific neighborhood.
No, I was told not to go there after 7 o'clock.
Right. Yeah. There's like I've been there. I live in Warsaw. I've been there a couple times, even in the evening.
Yeah.
But I wasn't feel very safe, to be honest. I saw some people. It never happened to me, but I saw some people that like maybe I will cross the street.
Yeah.
Just to be safe. Yeah.
Avoid any form of interaction. Yeah. You have to be smart, man. There's stupid people in every country.
Right.
Just have to be smart enough to know how to avoid it.
Right.
Basically. Poland's been kind to me. It's been very good to me. I've made some amazing friends. Cool. Including you now. Recently. Very happy that I met you.
Thank you. Very glad. Nice to hear that.
For sure, man. And it was just good, positive vibes. It's like I have my stand-up comedy family. I've got my family in office. Everyone's really nice and close, and we have a great rapport.
Right.
We've got friends. Had 2 Polish girlfriends. Had my heart broken twice.
Oh.
Polish girls know how to break your heart, man. I'm kidding. It's just me. That's just me.
Oh. But you're here more than 2 years, right?
2.5 years.
2.5. So is it like there was a moment that you feel like you became feel like at home, or was that straight from the beginning?
Not from the beginning for sure. For the first 1 year, not really. After I moved to Krakow, I think a year after I moved to Krakow, I started feeling at home. Because I had my routine, I have my people and my friends, and I would go every Sunday to Szpitalna. I would go. Office is like first priority. My whole life revolves around work. Then I started doing stand-up comedy in January 2018. After doing that for 6 months, that's when I really felt like at home, because I had something to do outside of work.
Right.
My only purpose in life wasn't work, so that was the best move I made.
Yeah, and also the stand-up comedy people are always very honest. So if you are honest on the stage and funny, they will like you immediately.
Definitely. Honest and really nice, and everyone's like getting along, and we're sharing ideas. And it's a great outlet, creative outlet for your energy and your thoughts.
Right.
It's a great hobby to have.
Exactly.
Yeah? And like I always wanted to do stand-up comedy since 5 or 6 years back in Bombay, because my friends used to just call me a funny guy. I was one of the funniest guys in the group always. I would be cracking jokes all the time.
Right.
And then me and my best friend decided that we would do stand-up comedy. His name is Etzel, but he lives in Canada now, in Toronto.
Right.
And we always wanted to do this together, but we never ended up doing it. We wanted to do like a comedy duo sort of performance. But I've been writing jokes for like 5 years in a little notepad. Like every time I thought of something funny, I would write it down. I said, someday when I do my stand-up comedy, I'll use these jokes. And it was my New Year's resolution in 2018. I ended up being in Krakow, and I just went for this open mic, the first open mic of 2018.
Cool.
And I got great response. I had a great time. Yeah. Everybody seemed to love it, and I just kept on doing it. Now it's been a year and a half.
Yeah. So for people who don't know, there is a Marek Wawrzyniak, that guy who spent his whole life in America,
in Chicago,
but he is Polish and German. Their parents is from Germany and Poland.
His father's Polish, his mother's German.
Exactly.
But he grew up in Chicago.
Yeah. So he speaks a bit Polish, but he obviously his first language is English. And he makes every Sunday stand-up comedy at Szpitalna.
Szpitalna 1. That's
Szpitalna 1. And it's in English. And it's open mic in English, and there's most of people there are from like expats living
Majority,
in
90%.
90%.
Of course, we have
living.
comics from Poland, including you. Now you started coming since last time, which is great.
Twice.
Which is good. And we've got more people from Poland.
Yeah.
Marek and Holly run the Krakow stand-up comedy. Marek is, of course, half German, half Polish. Holly is Irish, but she's been living here for, I think, almost a decade.
Oh.
Quite a few years, I think. Marek has been living here also for more than 15 years.
Right.
So Krakow is like his city, he knows it well.
Right.
And he used to even run a bar here. He had his own bar here in Krakow before. So they run Krakow stand-up comedy, which was the first and only proper English stand-up comedy place in Krakow.
Right.
And it's a great place.
Yeah.
Great place to grow. Great place to showcase. The open mic nights. There's one gig every Sunday. So today is Sunday, so we're going to go. We have the gig today as well, which is a professional gig. But every alternate Sunday is open mic, and anybody can just sign up. Sign up on the page on Facebook, on the event, you get a free beer and you get 5 minutes on stage. Do whatever you want. Cool. And it's great. And we've had people from all over the world come here. Yeah. And it's a great place to be.
Yeah.
Marek's doing a great job.
Marek is ultra funny guy.
He's really funny.
Yeah.
And he's expanded now. We do twice a month at Mr. Wawelski. We have this Slay the Dragon bit, which is crazy. X Factor meets comedy with judges. You saw that the other day.
Yeah. That was crazy.
It was pretty cool. And once a month at Artifact Cafe also. That also happens once a month.
Oh, yeah. I read
Last
about
Wednesday
it.
Was it? Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So it's growing, man. There's lots of stuff happening.
Yeah.
We also tour like between Krakow, Warsaw and Wrocław. We also tour. So today we have a comic who's an Indian comic, coincidentally, Ravi Kumar. He's from Warsaw. He's a part of the Warsaw comedy scene. He's performing here in Krakow. And we've had our people go and perform in Warsaw and Wrocław. So it's like a community.
Cool.
Polish, English stand-up community. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So, but do you have any Indian friends living here in Krakow?
I do. Not too many. Just 3 of them maybe. That's it. Three friends. Yeah.
Do they speak the same language?
No, we don't.
You speak English?
We all speak different languages. We speak with each other in English. That's the funny part, because all the other 3, they're from different parts of India. They don't speak my language, and I don't speak theirs.
So how many languages is in India?
We have 30 official languages. I think we have more than 50 unofficial, and I think more than 100 dialects of different languages. And the dialects can be really different. Like it's like Śląsk and Polish, right?
Right.
It can be completely different also. Right. And every state has a different language. But Hindi and English are the common languages. They're the 2 official languages of India. Everything is in Hindi and English both. So if you go to South India, they might not speak a lot of Hindi, but they will speak English with you.
So it's like English is like the second language in whole India, and everyone speaks it?
Not everybody. You have to... It depends on which school you went to, because we have different schools in different languages. You have the regional language. So my parents had the option to put me in a Marathi school, which is the language that I speak. My mother tongue is Marathi from Maharashtra. Then I speak Hindi and I speak English fluently. These 3 are my fluent languages. And then I'm learning Polish and I know a bit of German. Doesn't matter though. But you can go to a Marathi school, or you can go to a Hindi school or an English school. Depends on which school your parents kind of put you in. But most of the people in like big cities speak English, yeah. But not the people normally from the lower classes, like the taxi drivers or the poor shopkeepers and stuff. They wouldn't speak English because they didn't go to a school where they were taught English.
So they would not speak English.
They'll speak enough to survive. Right. Everybody knows enough English to survive.
Right.
But surprising number of people speak English in India. India has the second largest English speaking population in the world. Oh. Outside of USA.
Oh.
That's also the reason why we have so many jobs outsourced to India.
Right.
Because of the language. It gives us the biggest workforce of English speaking people.
Right.
That's where China is lacking, basically.
Right.
They have more people, but
they don't speak English.
Can't speak English to save the bloody lives, can they?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, hello, my name is Peter. Your name is not Peter.
It's not. That's why you have the outsourcing jokes, yeah.
Yeah. Was that too cheesy?
No, it's not. It is what it is. It's a stereotype. Come on.
Yeah. There was one more thing I want to ask you. What's the situation? Like immigration, I mean, in terms of laws, Polish laws. If you are Indian citizen, do you need a work permit?
Yeah.
Is it hard for you to get it? Was that hard?
It's a pain in the ass, to say the least.
Oh,
it's not that easy in Poland. Actually, it's much easier in India, the other way around, because I think way more foreigners come and work in India than Poland. And give me some as well, thank you. So the thing is, I was lucky that I didn't have to really do anything myself, because it's impossible to do anything in the Urząd unless you speak Polish, because all the forms are in Polish. And they speak English, of course, but not really everybody. So my company did everything. So we have lawyers in the company who took care of everything. So I didn't have to worry about that.
Cool. But
it was a bit. It takes a long time. It takes way longer than you expect it to take. Like you have to get a resident permit if you're a non-EU citizen.
Right.
No matter where you're from, you have to get a. I think Ukraine is an exception because there's special rules. You have to get a residence permit and you have to get a work permit. Now, this can take anywhere from 3 months to 6 months. And technically, you can't work until you have it. So it's like you're just waiting constantly. And it's a really stupid rule now. It's like when you apply for this. Like I had one last year, but then expired. And I applied for the renewal. The renewal also takes 6 months.
No.
So now I have to wait. And while I'm waiting for this, for my actual decision, I'm literally a prisoner of Poland. In Poland. I can't leave Poland.
Because you're waiting for...
I'm waiting for my decision. So if I leave Poland, I can't come back. I can go back to India because I have a passport. It's my country. But I can't apply for... I don't have a visa because it expired. So I can't come back into Poland. So I have to wait in Poland. I can legally live here and work. That's what I'm doing. But I can't leave. It's like... it's okay. Krakow's a great place to be a prisoner, I suppose.
Did you visit any other places beside the big cities?
Yeah, in Poland, for sure, man. So many places. I think quite a few, but I've been lucky. I haven't, but I want to travel much more. I've been to places in Podkarpacie. I've been to Rzeszów, Jarosław, which is a small town. Everyone's staring at me there. It was great. And Przemyśl. Przemyśl. Actually, where my boss is from, but I landed up there by mistake. I took the wrong train from Jarosław in the night, in the wrong direction, landed up in Przemyśl.
Oh.
That was the last train, but it's okay. Then I've been to Szczecin. I went for a Polish wedding to Szczecin. Then I've been to Trójmiasto, 2017, Gdansk, Sopot, Gdynia. Yeah. I went to Hell, which was beautiful. Then
despite the name.
I just wanted to go there so I could listen to Highway to Hell while I was going there. That's basically what I did.
Of course.
It was great. It was awesome.
Cool.
And we took the cruise ship from Gdansk. Not the little cruise thing. The ferry. It was great in the Baltic.
Cool.
I've been to... Where else have I been? Trójmiasto. I've been to, of course, Warsaw. Lived in Warsaw. I've been to Łódź. I've been to... Close to Lublin, there's Radecznica. There's a famous monastery there. I've been there because my friend took me to his farmhouse. His house in the countryside, which is in a small village called Zaporozhye. Oh, cool. Which is where apparently I was the first Indian person in that whole village, which is possible. Right. It was funny. I have a story about that. It was great. I was like, went to the grocery store and I started touching everything. Like, oh wait, I'm the first Indian to touch this. The first Indian to touch this. It was great. It was an honor. And they were like staring at me, obviously.
They were, but they were interested.
They were very interesting. It was great. It was great. I was like the first man to step foot. It's like I keep talking about it. I'm like walked into the grocery store and I'm like, small step for man, a giant leap for Indian kind. It was beautiful. Then I've been to, cool. There's a small village called Lubenia, also in Podkarpacie, which I'd gone for Christmas with my friend. It was like my best friend from Poland is a guy called Krzysiek Laskowski, but we call him Białe Konie. He's an interesting character.
Well, how?
Białe Konie, white horses, but plural, not singular. It's a funny story. When you meet him once, you'll get to know. I'll tell you the story. So he's from Lublin. He was working with me in my office, but he's moved to Warsaw now, but he's my closest friend in Poland. He took me for Christmas to his family house. It was really nice.
Cool. Did you...
And Wrocław.
Wrocław, yeah, Wrocław is beautiful.
And Zakopane. And Nowy Sącz. and Shaflare and Hoholov.
Wow, you visit more places than I in Poland. Did you visit your family in India for the last?
I went in February to surprise my mother. It was her 60th birthday.
Oh.
So I just landed up without telling her that I'm coming. And it was a great surprise for her. She was very happy to see me. And it was also my birthday like 10 days after that. So I stayed back for February.
Cool.
And it was great going back after 2 years, meeting all the friends. It was pretty good.
Cool. Did some of your family visit you here?
My mother.
Oh.
Last November.
Oh, cool.
My mom loved it. It was the first time in Europe. She's never been here before. And she had a bigger cultural shock than I did. The two funny stories that I tell everybody about when my mom came here. I picked her up at the airport. She gets out of the airport in Krakow in November and says, wow, the air is so fresh. I'm like, no, okay, you have no idea. And then we're in the Uber, we're driving home. She's looking at the city and the city is beautiful. It's so nice. And then after 10 minutes, she tells me, Adi, Krakow is so beautiful. Why doesn't anybody live here? And I laughed my ass off. It's true, because I told her, Mom, after living in Bombay, every city in the world is going to seem empty.
Yeah.
Trust me on that. So
there is as many people in Bombay as in whole Poland, right? It's like
almost. It's like
but it's close.
25 million people officially, but it's easily 30 million, including the cities and the suburbs.
Right.
And Poland is 36 million, 38 million?
38, 39, almost 40 million.
Yeah, so, and my mom is very cool. She even did stand-up. She went on stage, open mic. She's just crazy.
Really?
My mom is crazy.
Oh,
she's like, come to Europe for the first time, never been here. And I mean, I get all my energy and personality from her. She just says, I'm going to sign up and I'm going to go on stage and do something. I'm like, that's crazy. So she went on stage.
She speaks English, right?
Yeah, she speaks English. English is pretty good, yeah. She's a lawyer.
Oh.
So she's like very busy with cases. So she has cases in English also, and Hindi and Marathi. She speaks all three languages.
It's pretty cool.
And I was blown away that she actually did that. It's my mom, so she's
that would be weird to see my mom performing.
You should ask Marek next time you meet him.
I will.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah. So do you have any plans for future? Like, do you think about it, or just living in the moment?
Man,
here?
I'm really going with the flow. I've always done that. I landed up in Poland because I was going with the flow. I didn't plan anything. It was almost like some sort of destiny that I was supposed to be here. But I don't have any plans. I'm just going to go along with it. At the moment, I'm really happy to be in Poland. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here for a while. I don't know what the future holds.
Cool.
But as of now, I'm really happy and very happy to meet all the people and be here and do what I'm doing. I want to keep on doing it and improving, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Man, it was great to meet you. And
it was my pleasure, man.
It was great to have you, because you have so much positive energy and all the positive things that you tell about Poland and Krakow.
All the good things. I'm really happy.
It's heartwarming.
Oh, I'm so glad, man. I'm glad. I'm really happy, man. It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Pleasure to be here. It's weird to have this mic in my face. I'm going to get used to this, maybe.
Yeah.
But thanks, man. Cheers.
Thanks. Cheers.